Paul Roberts, and this is Conscious Counseling 101. Know that I'm there to talk to if you want. This message is for someone that needs a friend to talk to. A girl about 28 years old has lost her boyfriend, and I'm just going to be the friend to talk to. You can get back with me after this video. Sometimes in life, when we need something, it's just not there. So I don't have to be a genius. I don't have to be a guru. I can just simply be Paul. And I can put myself out there as someone that will do something that others don't do. That's what I'm trying to do. So I can be that for you. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you a whole lot of things that I think, and you may or may not agree with them. That's not the point. We can't know anything. We're making our way through this world trying to figure things out. So what's the most important thing that I'm doing? I'm being there versus not being there. Okay? Anybody could do that, but who chooses to? That's the rarity. I hope you respect that and appreciate it. And I hope that we can talk. And I hope that I can help just by being that. But let me also share what I've been doing my whole life, being conscious and aware and analyzing. I'm going to go totally generic. No one will know who you are. And we won't tie this down to religion or solid ideas and opinions. But I am going to give you some ideas of what I think. The most important thing that you said was that he had cheated. And also that you feel like you're not valuing yourself enough. And your anger and your dreams are haunting you. So let's just talk about the realities of the symbolism of dreams and why in your mind's eye you're grappling with this. Of course you're grieving because you loved him. You stayed with him for 9 years, right? And I'm not going to talk negatively about a deceased person because we all have flaws and failures. But you're the one that carries on, and you need to learn from your failure and your flaw. And your failure and your flaw was certainly not to be forgiving. Oh, you forgave him. Great. You need to forgive yourself for not caring enough about yourself. To feel as though there isn't anything else for you. And when something goes wrong or isn't the way it should be, you feel like you've got to grab onto it because it's all you've got. Anybody that's 28 years old should have, theoretically, the whole world in front of them. They should never feel desperate and have to feel like they've got to cling to something that isn't worth a high enough wild of their time. A person that can't commit to you, he may be great in so many other qualities. Guys are wired differently than girls, we all know that. But there's enough way for two people to gain and work at what they need that they don't have to go elsewhere. And if there isn't, well then those two people shouldn't be committed. That's the thing you did wrong. You gave a commitment to someone that couldn't give equally back. You may forgive him, he may change, and he may progress. If he was still alive, he may become a new person and you could work together. But you don't have that opportunity. God or some all-powerful force or life circumstance took him away. So what do you need to do now? What you need to do now is very simple. Understand what you did in the first place and don't repeat the same mistakes. And I don't want to call them mistakes because you gave yourself. You gave your love, your understanding, your forgiveness, your life. But you didn't need to. And I'm not going to say you shouldn't have because everything that we do is a path, a learning path towards hopefully a greater insight or knowledge or understanding or consciousness of why we're here, what our life purpose is, and how we should conduct that life purpose while we're alive. So I'm not going to say you did anything wrong, but I'm going to say, grieve. Feel sorry for this man. He had many things that were probably not where he would have liked to take them in his life and his time, and now he doesn't get a chance to work on them anymore. If you believe that a person and the way they live will be judged, then he's going to be all that he is. And I'm not saying he's a bad person. I'm just saying that you gave him too much credit for what he was deserving of at the place he was at. That shows a need. It shows a codependence. It shows understanding and forgiveness. But, you know, we should all be forgiven. We should all be forgiving. There's no question about that. But what we do with our sacred selves could never be overestimated how valuable it is. If you're willing to give yourself to someone fully, they need to be worthy. Fully. I'm sure you're going to both work on each other if you had lived along, and maybe it would have worked out. But you jumped into it and you stayed in it as if it was permanent. And you're grieving now and feeling sad because you thought it would have been permanent. But it shouldn't have been. It shouldn't have been permanent. You needed to either change it through your forgiveness and your adjustment for each other, or through what's going on now, yourself. You get the chance to value yourself. You get the chance to operate differently. You get the chance to feel good about the changes you can make and leave sadness behind, and look at this loss as a chance for a gift for you to become a greater, more conscious person. And by greater, I don't mean fame and riches and incredible things. I mean simple things. Just the value of how you see yourself and what you do with that value and with that self needs to start to be more. So you don't find yourself in this circumstance. If you ever do find yourself in this circumstance again, and you're writing back or talking back with me and you say, I lost my beloved husband of 10 years and we were 100% committed. Whew, that'd be a harder video to make. When I was reading your words, I thought, oh, this is just really hard. Until I got to the part about how he had not been true and how you had not felt good enough about yourself. And then I said, there's your problem right there. The whole thing's right there. Now, starting tomorrow, this is what conscious counseling is. I'm Paul Roberts, and I have done all through my life conscious counseling. I didn't start naming it as that until about, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago, 15 years ago. I was counseling others, but I officially named it and made it what I do about 15 years ago. And what conscious counseling is it takes, you're constantly introspective, okay? You're constantly, like an intelligent person will take any idea that is offered to them and they'll examine it, they'll research it, they'll value it, and they'll decide, what are the misnomers in this, the flaws of man, and what are the values and the learnedness and the wisdom of man? How does it apply to me in my life? And you allow yourself to become wise enough and conscious enough to know whether you should hold on to it and make it a part of your collection and your ideology, or let it go. That's what you need to do. And so what I do to do that is, the process of conscious counseling is I'll take whatever my circumstance is, and I'll take whatever ideas I can collect about those circumstances or anywhere else in the world at the time or before, or anything I can fathom. And I'll take and look at it from another angle. As an artist, especially a sculptor, you look at things from many angles. If you take a sculpture, ultimately, you have to carve it like a 2D image from every single angle. Conscious counseling allows you to say, there's an angle where everything's right, and I'm whole, and I'm going to be greater and better. And I have to believe that. But it can't be a delusion. It has to be real. So what you do is you formulate in your mind's eye, like an artist, what the angle is where this all works out perfectly. I'm trying to do this for you, but you got to do it your own way. I only know so much about you. When you find that perfect vision of the perfect you and the perfect world and the perfect life meaning and the perfect everything, you say, that's what I've got right now. Now, without being delusional, without being false to yourself, and without listening to those around you that aren't capable of talking to you like I'm talking to you now, the one thing you need to do once you have that vision is believe that vision is a possible perspective that you could see this all being at. And then look for the answers of why. Don't buy into them just because you're in pain, but examine all the reasons why this is a great place you're at and meant to be as the next step on your path to a better place, and spend all your time finding out why it is that, and believe it's that, and make it that, and make your life go forth through that conscious perspective as if it's real, because it should be, and it could be, and it would be if you would let it. Believe that that's what you want to do and move forward as if you are going to. So what did I say? I just said a few things. Few things. They're just obvious right off the top. You're sad. You lost something you were used to. He didn't fully deserve you by the time you had given yourself fully. And you valued yourself less than you should have. Okay? So the first things you're going to look at is, those things aren't going to be that way ever again for you. The definition, they say, of clinical insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. You're not going to do the same things over and over again. You're going to use what I'm talking to you about in your own mind's eye of how it is, conscious counseling. You're going to use conscious counseling to create that image. Believe that image is real. Make that image real. Know why. Study every aspect of it, every aspect of yourself introspectively, and say, I'm going to live this way from now on. How are you going to value yourself? Don't just look at the qualities you already have, your skills and talents and your unique attributes that the world might value. Oh, they're clueless. They're in the darkness. You might have been in the darkness. I don't know you enough to tell you whether you are or not. But don't go to the world. Don't even think of me as the world, quite frankly. You're the only one that can examine everything like I'm telling you to do and be honest with yourself and become what you know you need to become and value yourself. You're the only one that can do that. That's what you need to do. And you need to look at this grieving process as, I'm sorry that I've had this loss. For the sake of you, I'm sorry. But thank you, all-powerful being, whatever, for making this occur. Thank you for having someone to talk to that makes me realize what I need to do. Thank you for the ability to do it. And talk with me some more about that if you don't understand. But I try to put everything that you would need or anyone would need in every single video, because I've lived it, I do live it, and you can live it too. Know that I'm there to talk to if you want. I'm Paul Roberts, and this is Conscious Counseling 101.